Another all-new episode of Carolina Sports Talk starts now.
Can y'all feel that? Can you feel that thing that's oozing out your doggone hands? That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Can you feel that?
Welcome back to another episode of Carolina Sports Talk. It's your main man, Big Cliff. As always, thank you for tuning in on your favorite podcast app. Next time, tell your smart speaker, play Carolina Sports Talk. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and yes, finally, not Snapchat, what's the other one? TikTok, that's what it is. And we out here, all of that at Carolina Sports Talk. As always, welcome in my main man and yours, DJ High Star, rocking with the boy. What's goody with it, my boy? DJ High Star. DJ High Star going once. Can you hear me, bro? Seem to be having some technical difficulties, but while we are aligning that, I also do have in a very, very special guest from the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast, my boy, Be Easy in the building, in the flesh.
Yo.
I had to give you the big welcome, bro. What's goody with it, man?
Hey, man. Happy to be here. Very happy to be here.
I'm very happy to be here. How you been, dog? We had the pleasure of rocking with you on your show, man. And then who knew? Turn around a few days later, Stephen A. Smith was going to try to break the internet. And I was like, nah, I got to bring my boy in here. You are right here with us, rocking on, you know what I'm saying, Carolina Sports Talk. So we're glad to have you in the building, my boy. Well, I think High Star, DJ High Star, you there, bro? Not so much. Okay. While we getting that, man, let's just go ahead and jump into it. For those of you who may have missed it, I'm seeing the head shaking, and now we're frozen again. Bing bong. But for those who may have missed it, we had Mr. Jason Whitlock, a former ESPN, former Fox News. I don't even know where he is now on cable news network. I'm not sure where he is, but he's doing his own thing and decided that he wanted to take some additional shots at Stephen A. Smith. For those who may have not known, they had a little bit of a history from back at his time at ESPN, where there was some alleged betrayal, then there was some friendship and apologies and making up and all that kind of good stuff. But then he decided he wanted to take shots. And Stephen A. Smith on the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube said that he wasn't with it. High Star, you there?
Yep, you're
here. Welcome in, my dog. But Stephen A., y'all boy. First of all, I'm sure at this point you guys have seen it. Let's just jump into it, man. What y'all thinking about? What's your thoughts and reactions on Stephen A.'s reaction to Jason Whitlock coming for his 1.5 points per game average in college?
off of one game.
One game.
Yo, first shout out to Be Easy. It was good, my brother.
We finally got you here. Audio got you straight.
Yo, this is what I was trying to keep it safe because we're on the family friendly show today, bro. I was saying, keep it cute. Keep it cute. This is a safe space, unlike yours.
Oh yeah, this is a safe spot. Jokes can be. I can keep it clean too now. You know.
All right. But yeah, no. Saw this coming a mile away. He's kind of alluded to it. This is gonna be blurry for me, but he's alluded to it in the past or whatnot. It's gonna be very blurry for me, y'all. But
I'm gonna just go ahead and be blind for a little while and talk to y'all.
Appreciate you.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I see. But yeah, so he's been alluding to it for a while. This is the thing right now. This is like the new thing after the powder keg that was Cat Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody looking for their moment and stuff like that. I was just listening to Sebastian Telfair pretty much do an audio tell-all with Cam and Mace with regards to his family and all of that stuff, and just being uncut, X-rated, raw. You know how they used to market all of the Girls Gone Wild movies and stuff in the late '90s. That's what everybody feels like they got to be nowadays. So yeah, he marketed it and he PR'd it kind of the whole day, and yo, this teased it, and then yeah, I mean his version of what the smoke would be at his age and everything like that. You know,
Mm.
because the other thing is that the spice sounds different at different eras or whatever like that. You know, if somebody, an old person telling you, look, you jive turkey, I'm tired of all of this, you're gonna think a different way than, you
Right.
know, somebody coming up to you or a youngin coming up to you. But yeah, it's my initial thoughts. Stephen A being Stephen A. You know, because of who he bombed on, I'm not too mad.
Period. And so right before we get to you, Be Easy, you say Stephen A being Stephen A. To me, it was a little bit more. Stephen A has always been animated, been over the top. But when he hit it with I had to call my pastor and let him know that I apologize in advance for everything I'm saying tonight. When he hit it with that, he really did you had if you had to pre-apologize to your pastor, I knew he really, was getting ready to go in a little bit, and he did. Even with the language still being on ESPN, and he had to have gotten clearance from them because we understand that it's not ESPN, and he still does work for them. But at the end of the day, he went a little further than what I expected from Stephen A. So, Be Easy. What do you think about it, man? What were your thoughts or reactions initially?
Well, first I had to go back and because I don't, I've been stopped listening to Jason Whitlock or seeing him because he's not on ESPN, he's not on Fox, anything like that. So I hadn't heard anything. So I think you shared the clip of him on Twitter talking about the 1.5 points a game. He's trying to discredit Stephen A's memoir. And then Stephen A does this voice when he's real serious, when he really got beef. And it's not high pitched like you did. He takes it low.
Take it down.
And he did it with Kevin Durant back in the day, a few years ago. He was like, you don't want to make an enemy out of me. So he went real low like that.
Kyrie as well.
Yeah, it was Kyrie. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Guys, you want to be my friend. I'm not disrespectful. He did all that kind of stuff. So he did that with at the beginning of that, I talked to the bosses at ESPN. I talked to my pastor to let him know I needed him to pray for me in advance. And, he did that. And then he went on into it, you know what I'm saying? So that let me know he was real serious when he do the low voice, that let me know he's serious. When he do the high,
you got to sit up.
He playing around when he doing the high, you know what I'm saying, the high voice. But when he take it low, he mean business. He mean business with Whitlock.
And I understand why, and quite honestly, he's fed up. And you guys, High Star, you alluded to it, that Cat Williams just calling out and saying what he said, I think has opened the door and provisioned a lot of other folks to be able to say, you know what? Why the heck not? If it's going to drive ratings, if it's going to boost whatever. And it almost feels like Whitlock was trying to utilize and capitalize from that. And he came with the same weak sauce. Like nobody who really watches Stephen A. Smith, I hope at least, really believes that this guy was really like that. I mean, no shade to my dog, and I'm saying he the bruz and all of that, but let's be honest.
Well, he never said that he was like that though. He just said he played for Winston-Salem State. He got a scholarship, and he didn't finish because he cracked his knee or something like that. Like he never said he was nice. So
the story of him getting his scholarship is where kind of Jason brought in his credibility, and because Stephen A gives a story about him kind of sinking 17 threes or having a great performance of I don't know, 27 points or something like that, in the tournament, and got offered a scholarship on the spot. And I think Jason Whitlock was bringing that into question as well. But again, it's Jason Whitlock, so everything is kind of grouped into his kind of bag of hate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even along those same lines, we talked about it on the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast, available wherever you get your podcast for free 99. But with Cat Williams, it seemed like a message. It seemed like revisionist history, or once you've told a story so many times and added your little twists and turns that it then becomes your truth. To me, this is what Stephen A's story seems like with regards to how he got the scholarship and everything. At the end of the day, no matter how it came about, it came there. It's very clear and evident that the school recognizes him. They have the record of him. I mean, even with the 1.5 points per game in one game, it's evident that he was there. So even about how it came, like it just, again, Jason Whitlock being Jason Whitlock to me with that weak sauce, and even starting it. Stephen A, though, came with receipts talking about the email that after Jason Whitlock was betrayed by somebody or something, he said, I felt what you felt and I'm sorry, and apologized to Stephen A. But then to turn around and do this, it really just felt real clout chasey to me. So if you guys have not checked it out by now, go ahead and check it out on YouTube. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, we don't work for the 4-letter. We crooks out here, but check it out on YouTube, the Stephen A. Smith response to Jason Whitlock. Again, it ain't Carolina Sports Talk, so it ain't, you know, necessarily family friendly and oriented, but definitely is worth the watch, and it's entertaining. Even with his comments about Aaron Rodgers, and how Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show was going for, as he said, another ESPN or Disney employee. Like I'm saying, he got into it a little bit with everybody, and it just kind of almost feels like he's trying to promote his new paperback book.
Yeah, he did that heavy.
Even in the commercial breaks that wasn't commercial, it's just on some, well, we're going to take a break and I'll get back to him when we get back.
Oh, well, those were his commercials, though.
Right. And technically, I get it. I'm not going to hate because when, you know, Great Marketing Solutions, where we can get all of your marketing. When we, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. But at the same time, bro, it's like, yeah, but the cat thing for me, I guess, is the standard at this point. 2024 started off with Cat being like, yeah, now I don't care nothing about nothing. I'm standing on business and I'm going to give it. This felt similar, but more like adjacent. This felt like the JV version of that for me, even with that, even with all the cussing and, you know, him very clearly not liking Buddy, calling him the fat boy, all of this. Like he very clearly don't like Jason Whitlock.
Well, I think the cat thing came like it to a lot of people. It came out of nowhere. This seems more warranted because Jason Whitlock has been taking shots at Jamel Hill and Michael Smith and Dan Le Batard and people that used to be his colleagues, people that, you know, even though I was listening to Dan Le Batard earlier today, and Dan was like, he considered Jason Whitlock his friend. So those people he's been taking shots at, and if you notice, a lot of those people haven't responded. This is like really the real first response. You know, it's kind of out of Stephen A's character to call people out of their name. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what took a lot of people by surprise, me especially. You know what I'm saying? What he called him early on in the promo for it. You know what I'm saying? That what took me by surprise. So just seeing him go in on him the way, because y'all say it was light, but for me it was heavy. You know what I'm saying? But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all 56 minutes of it.
Definitely want to give a shout out to everybody watching online, commenting. Shout out to my dog Jones from the Music Jones podcast. Cuzzo Andre, shout out to him. Upward Hoops, we see you peeping out on YouTube. My
dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then, of course, Jones got to come for you, man. This guy got on a Wilson shirt.
Hey. we shout out to Tiger Town Sports, another podcast that's on the Crux Media Group. If you want your school to have a podcast, you hit us up.
What's the website and the phone number that they can holler at us?
You put me on the spot. MediaGroupLLC.com, something like that. Info CruxMediaGroupLLC.com. There you go.
We'll drop the commercial, that fly commercial that y'all boy got that y'all ain't sharing with nobody. We'll drop that someplace and let folks check it out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Issa Rae on Facebook. Big bounce, the bros. It was heavy. I enjoyed all of it. Absolutely. We definitely enjoyed it too, man.
Good pause. Good pause.
Good pause. Appropriately placed pause. You know what I'm saying? And it's especially coming from bounce. But nonetheless, we're going to move forward into the NFL. Man, it was a busy week in the NFL. Let's go ahead and run down some of the NFL scores. What y'all say, fellas?
Let's get it.
Oh, real quick, though. Shout out to Stephen A for dropping the B word, for calling Jason Whitlock the B word. I really appreciated that. That let me know that he was really serious. So, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Back to the NFL.
The 5-letter one or the 7-letter one?
Absurd.
The 5-letter one.
Oh yeah, no, and see, I said it was, or you took it as me saying it was light. I started off by saying I felt I could very easily see that Stephen A was pissed. He was just not happy But with regards to, I guess, the weight or severity, like you said, with it almost felt like with the Cat Williams thing, like that standard is like a little bit different. But at the end of the day, he very much didn't like Buddy, and he was giving him everything, but you know what I'm saying, some love. Just a bunch of you, and I don't believe that this, and how could you and yo, like he was, yeah, I mean, he was giving it up to him. So like, I don't think it was light by any means, but nonetheless.
And the fact that and I'm sorry, you know, we can go on after this. And the fact that Stephen A. not only did he call, you know, you can ask Dan Le Batard, you can ask Jamel Hill, you can ask this person or that person. He started calling out the bosses. He started going with the, you know, the boss's name, the head of ABC, the head of ESPN. You know, ask this person or that person. You know, so that took it to another level for me. And then, I keep, you know, different things keep popping in my head. And then when Stephen A. was like, you know, you were on ESPN, then you went to Fox, then you went to this place. Now you at the Blaze, and no disrespect to the Blaze, but who is Blaze TV? You know what I'm saying? So he went from here to there, and really, at the end of the day, Whitlock is probably going to be done after he leaves Blaze because he's losing all credibility. He's not a good person on television. I think he was a better writer than he was a television host or commentator or whatever. So we're probably about to see the end of him. And this was his last ditch effort to kind of get some publicity and get some views by going after all of these people. And Stephen A. will probably give him a little boost, but in the end, he'll probably just fall away.
Fizzle on out. And that for me, because I've never hidden the fact that I don't like him. Even when he was on ESPN, they've just, it was not, I haven't read his writing. All I'm familiar with is his commentating, and he's a hater. He is he's a hater. I'm not gonna get into, you know what I'm saying, the political views and all of that kind of stuff. He just really comes across as somebody who would just as easily try to step on you, Stephen. And you talked about some of just other things that Stephen A. mentioned, how he ran the paper into the ground, and just with terrible management, how he begged all these other people to come and work with him and work for him. The individuals who did try to collaborate with him ended up getting pooped on. It was just trash. And so he, like you said, very easily and very likely is going to fizzle on out into the sunshine. So
yeah, his brand was being a contrarian. Well, so he like going against the grain and making a pseudo hot takes. And a lot of them sound just, you know, foolish or whatnot.
Yeah, nah, he don't even deserve to get that love. Stupid, you're not even gonna get the chance. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some of these NFL scores. So week 18, final week of the season, started off with the Pittsburgh Steelers taking down the Baltimore Ravens 17-10. The Texans over the Colts 23-19. Jaguars fall to the Titans 28-20. Lions over the Vikings 30-20. Saints over the Falcons 48-17. Jets over the Patriots 17-3. The Buccaneers, blanked the Carolina Panthers yet again 9-0. Browns fall to the Bengals 31-14. Packers over the Bears 17-9. Cowboys take care of the Washington Commanders 38-10. Raiders over the Broncos 27-14. And the Giants beat up on the Eagles 27-10. Seahawks in Pete Carroll's final game 21-20 over the Cardinals. Final game as a Seahawk. We'll come back to that. Rams over the 49ers 21-20. Chiefs over the Chargers 13-12. And the Bills take down the Dolphins 21-14. Well, High Star, we'll start with you. What kind of stood out to you in week 18 in the NFL in these shorthanded, let's go ahead and rest for the playoffs, I don't really want it, you want it, no, you get it, no, I don't want it, you take it type of weekend?
Do either of y'all have like a concise way to summarize what happened with Crab Legs Winston? Y'all know?
Yes. So essentially there was the Saints secured the victory, were lined up in the victory formation, the win formation, and in the huddle, he decided to call it an audible. He said it was a team decision to get his teammate the first touchdown of the season. This is a teammate who had 17 touchdowns last year and none this year. And so they wanted him to go out in style. And so out of the victory formation, they decided to run the ball and allowed him to score the touchdown, causing there to be a little tiff with the coaches afterwards.
Coach had to eat that. course.
Yeah. So ultimately, it was the team's decision to go ahead and get that player. And I want to say it was Anderson that touchdown.
So, but yeah, no, that was humorous to me. The end of a long season, long regular season, and I wanted to just this is very improv, but I wanted to get three superlatives from you all. So the first one would be most improved team, and
Hmm.
of course, audience, feel free to participate as well. But with either y'all like to start or y'all want me to start?
I'll go ahead and jump on it. Pause. Ayo. Most improved team. Definitely, it's got to be the number one seed in the AFC to me, the Baltimore Ravens. A healthy Lamar has tremendously a lot to do with that, but I think the additions of offensive weapons to allow him the first opportunity to really look like a quarterback at the helm of a really, let's call it adequate offense, has paid benefits. That defense has stepped up. Signings like Jadeveon Clowney have made a difference. It'll be interesting to see what they're able to do with Cook coming in for the postseason and everything. But definitely for me, the Baltimore Ravens
Ravens.
most improved.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go where I thought that you were going with the question, and the Detroit Lions. 12 win season after decades of, of course, sub mediocrity and the brand or the reputation of not getting it done. This was, and you mentioned them. The reason that I thought that you were going with them, you mentioned them the first week of the season, the first game, and
Mhm.
that they were one of your favorites for the year. So, yeah, that's my most improved team. Be easy
Uh,
favoritism.
of course, you know it. I'm gonna have to go with my team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming in the last few weeks of the season, it was up in the air whether or not we're going to make the playoffs. But we went on a 3-game winning streak with our third string quarterback, and we moonwalked our way into the playoffs. So I'm good with my team.
So
Most improved.
here's why, and I hate to be the contrarian, but here's why both of those are not the most improved for me. Let's start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were a good team. Now, I like that, Jones. Y'all have consistently been good. 17 seasons without a losing record. I mean, it is what it is. Now, you talk about your third string quarterback, Mr. Mason Rudolph from Rock Hill, South Carolina, Football City, USA. Stand up. We out here. But you expect those types of things from that level of an organization. So for me, the reason I didn't say Detroit was because they finished strong. The last 2 years, they've been steadily climbing and becoming who they are this year. That culture that is there is evident, and I saw it coming. They just needed a couple more pieces offensively, and even Jared Goff has just been consistent. He's been who he was even in LA and just been consistent. Made some mistakes, but not so many that it overcomes what the defense is able to do. And I think that Hutchinson pick from last year, the number 2 overall, is quietly one of the best kept secrets in the NFL. The young man is balling out there. Amon-Ra St. Brown is out there on the offensive side. And so knowing that they were going to be this at the beginning of the season, as you just mentioned, it wasn't a surprise to me that they weren't that much of an improvement. So I get you.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie. You know what I'm saying? Our bad, bro. Said y'all boy left me out. Coach English, our bad. We'll get you on the next time, man. It was, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like that sometime. My bad, Bubba.
Some big cliff, Yoshi. Yeah, exactly.
Charge it to the heart and not the head, man. Y'all make sure y'all check out my dog Yusuf in the building on the Relationship Status podcast, also with Eggs, Grits, and Ignorance, part of the Crux family.
No, it ain't nothing for him to set up.
Listen, what's up? Let me know.
Right,
We can pop
so
you
I'm
the
gonna pull
link,
up,
boy.
right.
I mean,
But no, so I'll just make it my my second and last superlative so we can keep moving. But the second one is the trending award. Which team was trending? I would just say upward. I'll just keep that upward, trending upward. Best trending team.
Beezy, I'll let you go.
Best trending team. I'll probably have to say as I'm looking at the scores now, I had it on the tip of my tongue. I want to say the Bills, but I probably say the Lions. I'll go with the Lions because they finished. No, the Packers. I go with the Packers because they were kind of in the beginning of the season. He started out strong and he kind of dropped down, but then at the end of the season they fought their way into the playoffs and he's playing pretty good. So I'm gonna go with the Packers.
You know who we got to get on here? We got to get my boy Jones. I mean, former quarterback himself. He knows football. First of all, when asked the question, his response to which team was the most improved, the Texans. They literally, no one gave them a shot at the beginning of this season, and last year they were trash. DeMeco Ryans went out there and changed the culture of that program, and they're a playoff team as a result. So definitely shout out to that one. And even with regards to who is trending, I got to agree. Both of these teams, both the Browns and the Lions, they are getting healthy at the right time, and they're playing good ball at a very, very scary time. So as a matter of fact, what I want to do, I'm going to most disappointing definitely has to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to Al Hump.
My LB helping me with superlatives.
Disappointing Philadelphia Eagles and the Broncos.
I'll put Kansas City in there.
Why
I mean, even though just the way that they ended their season. So, like a way that, like how that trending question just happened, if it was a reverse trending question, they would be up there for me.
Okay. So I'm going to put a graphic up really quickly. We shared it online, but I definitely want to give it a chance for the folks to see it here. Window, bung. This is our NFL postseason bracket for the upcoming playoffs. If we take a look at the NFC side, we see that San Francisco is the number one seed. Now with the adjustment and extra team in the playoffs, number one seeds are the only ones that have that bye and home field throughout. 4 seed and 5, the Philly versus Tampa Bay matchup. 3-6 matchup on the NFC side is going to be the Detroit Lions taking on the Los Angeles Rams. And then in the 2-7, be easy, one of your teams that you mentioned, the Cowboys taking on the Green Bay Packers. And then on the AFC side, number one seed belongs to the Baltimore Ravens. 4 seed 5 matchup is the Texans Browns, which is going to be an incredible game. I'm really looking forward to that one, especially defensively. Kansas City, the 3 seed, taking on the Miami Dolphins, the 6 seed. And then the Buffalo Bills, the 2 seed, taking on your Pittsburgh Steelers. Be easy. So along as we're taking a look at this, fellas, which games stand out to you? Which one are you most like excited to see? What do y'all want to do? What are you thinking?
Besides my game, the Texans and the Browns, both of those teams beat us this year, but the Texans, like you guys said, they're trending upward. But the Browns, they have a real good defense, so they can get some pressure on a Stroud there. And I want to say they're playing in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. No, sorry, in Houston.
In Houston, okay. Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. Probably like 27-35, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I-Star.
I think the Kansas City and Dolphins game is the limping bowl, because I think both teams is kind of limping into that game, and it's going to be interesting to see who prevails out of that. Just because, again, I didn't like the end of neither of those teams' seasons, and then the Eagles game against a Tampa Bay team that took a underwhelming NFC South. I want to see what the Eagles can do, if they're gonna take this as a tune-up game and get back into shape.
I'm aptly going to call that one the lose to San Fran Bowl, because at the end of the day, neither one of those teams are in a position roster-wise to honestly compete with a hungry San Fran squad. We know that throughout this season, they've been saying that if not for injuries at the quarterback position, they would have been representing the NFC in the Super Bowl last year, and I think they are excited to be able to prove that again this year. And so I very much see that not even being a thing. I am interested in this Kansas City-Miami matchup. We know that the game will be in Kansas City. I think the expected temperatures at kickoff are something like -2 degrees with a feel of something like -14. This Miami Dolphins squad historically is 0-11 in games played in less than 30-degree temperature. Last time I checked, -2 is way less than negative and then 30 degrees. And so as a result, it'll be interesting to see how their speed with regards to the passing game is going to be able to translate in that cold and what's potentially and very likely going to be snow. We know that they've got some injuries of their own. Raheem Mostert is battling some, I think it's an Achilles or an ankle or something injury. And overall, they just, I don't think going to have enough for it. But sneakily, I want to see what their defense is going to do with Kansas City. If they are able to limit the offensive mistakes, and if Tua doesn't turn into a pistol shooter again, I wouldn't be surprised or upset. But I would love to see a good matchup there. And then, of course, on the NFC side, all of those games are going to be pretty good ones for the most part, with the exception of that Tampa and Eagles game. But nonetheless, we're going to move forward really quickly. One representative from the NFC, one from the AFC. Who do you have in the Super Bowl? We'll start with you, DJ Highstar.
San Fran. Yeah, San Fran.
Mm-hmm. And in the AFC?
I think, San Fran and Baltimore. I don't know.
You're just going to slide the one seeds all the way down in there.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. I hate even doing that, but.
Be easy. What about yourself?
I'm going to go Detroit and Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I can break that down too.
Go for it. You know what? I'm gonna stop sharing the graphic because I want the folks to see you when they as you break that down. Why you say, Bubba?
So I want to say we beat the Bills earlier this season, so it's not like we can't beat the Bills. Kansas City can win, but they're hurt. You know, they beat up. Our run game is advanced. Our run game is getting better every year, so I feel like we can beat them if we get to them. And then Baltimore, it's going to be a dogfight. And by that time, Baltimore might be beat up, and we can beat down Baltimore to get into the Super Bowl.
Jones says, "Hey man, somebody check Easy Cup, man. He got a little water bottle over there, boy, but I don't think there's no water in that bottle, my buddy."
That's tea and honey for the throat. I'm a professional.
Hey, yo. Now, so here's the thing. I hear what you're saying. As where I could sneakily see the Detroit pick. Let's say San Fran takes care of the Eagles, who I feel like will take care. In that matchup between the Lions and San Fran, I could see them sneaking into the NFC Championship and winning and then coming to the Super Bowl. So I could give you that. But on the other side, y'all don't have the offense necessary. Shout out to Rock Hill, Football City, USA. I know everything I said. Big ups to Mason. However, my boy, the defense is that if y'all somehow get past Buffalo, y'all ain't want nothing to do with Kansas City. Y'all don't want nothing to do with Miami. Y'all don't want even if there ain't no thing.
You guys said yourself that so far Kansas City has been trending downward.
I started that, but I feel like at the end of the day, similar to how we all love to hate the Patriots former quarterback, Mr. Tom Brady, the GOAT. I don't see a scenario where Patrick Mahomes is out to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs.
Okay.
I just don't trust it. No disrespect to your team, even though I don't really like y'all boy like that.
All disrespect. I'm taking it all disrespect.
Listen, and look,
my own show, I'm going to check with the owners of Crux. I'm going to check to the pastor that I don't have, and I'm going to go and I'm going to see if it's okay about what I'm going to say about Big Cliff.
When y'all win.
His respect.
Because you came on your show. I got the receipts. It's live. But Highstar, I'm actually with you. I hate to rock, chalk, Jayhawk and just roll it straight out, but I'm actually I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. I personally would love to see a rematch of the Harbaugh Bowl and having San Francisco against the Baltimore Ravens, even though only one of the Harbaughs was there. We'll talk about the other one in just a few moments. But before we get off of the NFL, there have been several NFL head coaching positions to come open. Right now, the number sits at 8, and I wouldn't be surprised if that increased. So for those who may have missed it, the Washington Commanders, the Atlanta Falcons, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Tennessee Titans, the Carolina Panthers, the Seattle Seahawks, and as of this morning, the New England Patriots all are looking for new head coaches. Quick, in one or in a few words, which one of these do you all feel is the most attractive coaching spot and which is the least attractive? We'll start with you, Be Easy.
Well,
Sam again, though, real quick. My fault.
Say again?
Say the cities again.
Okay. So the 8 teams that are looking for, without doubt, the 8 teams that are looking for the new head coaches: Washington Commanders, Atlanta Falcons, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders, Tennessee Titans, Carolina Panthers, Seattle Seahawks, and the New England Patriots. Be Easy.
Oh, well, depending on the age and race of, the potential coach, somebody around my age may go to Atlanta, or Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Now, not just for the city, but for like winning, for most attractive coaching job.
Specifically the city.
You say exclusively for the city?
And the wings and the nightlife.
See, I like Atlanta, although they're in our division. I really hate it. They've got an incredibly talented defense. They have some of the best individual skill position players in the league. The one hindrance they had was Desmond Ridder is not a quarterback. I just want the fake bootleg stunt double of Patrick Mahomes to go sit down and do something different other than playing football for them. And in fact, no, stay there. Keep doing what you're doing so y'all can never, ever get to the next level. But Atlanta could be attractive if you get the right coach with the draft picks that they'll likely have this year. If they're able to, I saw one mock draft that had them trading up to the number one slot and going and getting a quarterback. So I could see Atlanta being an attractive spot. DJ Highstar, what is your most attractive? And then we'll come back and get the least attractive.
I like Vegas, Tennessee. I'm not mad at Tennessee and kind of the culture that Vrabel's built out there. But yeah, I like the Raiders situation. I don't really like their roster all the way, but I don't think that they're in bad shape as some of these other teams.
Okay. The most favorable head coaching position of the 8 that are currently available belongs to the Carolina Panthers. And here's why. It is a beautiful city, like you talked about with Atlanta. Charlotte is a beautiful city, growing, bustling with industry, with Southern hospitality. The team itself, yes, there are some fair weather fans who, when you lose, really start feeling some kind of way. Not going to acknowledge that. Didn't say that anyway. But the reason and the singular thing that makes this the most attractive position is that the expectations are so low that no matter what you do, if you mess around and accidentally come in here and win, the city's going to fall in love with you. If you come in here and stink it up, you still have the worst owner in the league as your boss. You can blame him. And at the end of the day, he's probably going to fire you before your contract is up anyway, and you get to stay home and collect millions of dollars for free. So that singularly is why the Carolina Panthers, to me, is the best job out there. Now, I see some other folks who disagree. My boy, shout out to Isaiah saying Carolina was last. Yoshi started off saying New England was the last. Then he was like, wait, the Panthers job is definitely the worst.
The Panthers.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Shout out to Ross. Just checked in on the check-in.
Shout out Ross G says, LMAO, you got a point. We got a defense ready to win. The Carolina Panthers this year, their defense submitted the smallest or the least amount of how am I putting this? They gave up the least amount of yards per game of any team in the NFC all season long. Now, granted, 2 wins, result of the dysfunction that was there on the offensive side, but we've got a lot of talented pieces, and we weren't even fully healthy on the defense. It was much of the reason why at the beginning of this season, I felt like, hey, we could do this. And then it just fell apart at the seams. But as he mentioned, if we can get a couple of key O-line and actually get one for our quarterback to listen to, I think we'll be all right.
How do y'all figure y'all going to get the O-line pieces?
Because this draft particularly is incredibly deep for offensive linemen. Now, top tier quarterback talent is at the top.
What round do you think you're going to get a starting O-line?
Second round.
So you think in the second round you will? Because you get them in the first. Because you don't have it. Because the Bears have your pick.
All right. Yo, hit the rim shot. Okay. No, but I see where you was going with that. You just walked in.
I tried to set him up.
I know that we don't have a first. I know that Bryce Young has not only cost us our starting wide receiver in Mr. DJ Moore, very likely with this number 1 pick, if Chicago doesn't trade it away, very likely cost us, what's my boy's name? Jason brother, out of USC. Caleb. Nah, it's very likely called us.
Jason brother, yeah.
It very likely has cost us that. So yeah, I get all of that. However, there's an offensive lineman out of Iowa that's projected to be a mid-second round to early third round. His name escapes me, but he's a tackle out of Iowa.
He'll be in Pittsburgh.
Why? Because the colors already match?
No, we need O-linemen. And we'll get who we want somewhere else in the first round. Second round, we'll get them.
If we don't get them first, I'm coming up at the top of the second round. But nonetheless.
Yeah, y'all will be at the top. Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that. Shout out to my dog Peyton. Do y'all sign shirts? For you, my man, we can work something out, Bubba. But the Panthers, to me, is for just that reason the best. Now let's go to the worst really quickly. Don't everybody say Panthers all at once. Which do you feel, High Star, is the worst possible job out there of the 8 available? Again, New England, Seattle, Carolina, Tennessee, Vegas, Los Angeles, the Chargers, Atlanta, and Washington.
I kind of gonna say New England. I think the culture of winning out there was large, so large shoes to fill, big expectations to live up to, and stuff like that. They're not gonna want to rebuild for long.
Okay. Be easy.
I think the Panthers, just because of the ownership. Even though y'all do have $40 million in cap space, y'all need some offensive weapons. Y'all don't have a first round pick, those types of things. And the quarterback, he's improving. He might need a better line to get some things going, but right now he's improving. So out of these teams, you guys have the worst job.
Shout out to Jones being right again, man. I'm rocking with you, Jones. He says New England. Ross G says New England. New England is the worst. Who wants to come behind Bill Belichick? For that reason, coupled with the fact that New England has a team built exclusively with what Bill Belichick wants. Okay. We know that he's taken players that most people wouldn't have had on their boards, or maybe as a 6th or 7th rounder, and drafted them in the 2nd round because they fit his scheme. They lack offensive continuity. Mac Jones is not it. So they'll need to draft a quarterback. They also don't have the skill position, and they're getting long in the tooth. They have some quality defensive players, but then all of that coupled with the fact that who wants to come behind Bill Belichick?
Hey, yo.
Hey, you guys. But who wants to coach behind that? Similarly, we'll talk about it with Alabama. Who wants to, you don't want to be the guy that follows the guy. You want to be the guy that follows the guy that follows the guy. And so ultimately, hey, this is just getting worse. But I don't see there being any measure of success there. Now, granted, I say that, and then if Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh, because Jim has just won the championship. If Jim says, all right, Michigan, I appreciate y'all, I'm going to New England, all that's out the window, because now you get free agents, you get a proven coach who will have the ability to build in a quicker manner than some of these other ones will. But for as it stands now, that is, to me, very likely the the least attractive of those jobs. Go ahead.
I gotta disagree with all three of y'all that said New England, because following Bill Belichick, you'll have more rope. They already know the team isn't like you. All of those points you mentioned about the team not being good, you have that leeway. So you don't have to be good now. You can build your own team, and they'll give you that rope to kind of hang yourself. I feel like whoever comes after him will get a chance to build their team, and they don't have to follow directly in his footsteps, because he's not leaving a champion. He's leaving what they won 4 games this season. So I think whoever follows them will have a chance. And the ownership there, they let the coach do what they want to do, pretty much. Let the coach lead the team and not be a owner like Tepper or Jerry Jones. They're not that type of coach. So I think that's more attractive than you guys.
Yeah, but that's exclusively because it was Bill Belichick. And for the early years, Bill had a GM. He didn't get that much power until after several years of being able to sustain a high level of winning. My boy Sean Maxwell mentioned in the comments that Mac Jones has trade potential due to his Alabama ties. I'm going to say the opposite of that, because he's an Alabama quarterback. He was the first Alabama quarterback, and I think the last like 20 some odd years, to actually come to the NFL and win a starting job. And then even with winning a couple of games, we see how that's worked out on the back end for him. And with regard to Jim wanting to go to the Chargers, I think it would be kind of more similar to like a Eli and Peyton kind of thing, where they don't want to meet each other unless all the way in the Super Bowl to hinder one another. I think they've got that type of family connection and chemistry. At this point, I do really believe and hope that Jim wants to come to the NFL, having already won now his college championship. His dad won a college championship. The brother won a Super Bowl. I think he wants to be the one to win both. And so I definitely see him doing that. But ultimately, of the 8 open head coaching positions, I wouldn't be surprised if that turns to 9 really, really, really quickly. So this is Carolina Sports Talk. It's your main man, Big Cliff, sitting in with my boy, DJ Highstar, Be Easy of the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast. You are watching us live on Facebook Live, or on YouTube at Carolina Sports Talk. We appreciate it. Shout out to Birdman asking about it. It's at Carolina Sports Talk. You can hit us up on all of our social media. We are wrapping up our NFL coverage for the day, but before we get off of football completely, shout out to let me make sure I get the right applause. Shout out to the Michigan Wolverines in convincing fashion, taking down the Washington Huskies in a score of 34-13 to win Jim Harbaugh his first championship. Fellas, quick thoughts on the NCAA's final year of the 4-team playoff and Jim Harbaugh winning a national championship.
Called it. But pretty much what I was saying last week about the irony and the poetry of it all, with that being kind of a team with a black eye from the beginning of the season, and then they coming back to do their thing. It's just poetic justice for everything going on with the NCAA that, like I mentioned last week, the teams that didn't make it, they clashed and played each other, and then this ends up like this. Couldn't have scripted it no better.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Panthers Prime podcast, the PPP, not the loans, you scammers. I did fraud today. I did a good job today. Be Easy. Any thoughts on the national championship?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Don't.
I'm just joking. I mean, I really don't care, because I was recording my show and didn't get a chance to watch. So I didn't get to see a lick of it. So, yeah, I hear the game was exhilarating. It was a lot of passing and running and catching and tackling. But
they played foosball.
They played the foosball, But shout out to Michigan. I wanted to go to Michigan when I was in high school because I had Charles Woodson Nikes. But
the streets made you want to go to the school.
Yeah, I'm weird like that.
It'd be like sometimes, you know what I mean?
But I just didn't have the 40 time. But yeah, unlike Cat Williams. But a lot of people thought, that Michigan was going to win. So it wasn't a big surprise. I just wonder what Penix is going to do. Pause. Is he going to declare for the? He's a senior, right? Fifth year senior.
Yeah. No, he's coming out.
Hey,
but-
yo, Penix is coming out. Okay.
As we move forward, no. For me, it started off looking like Michigan was just going to completely dominate this game. We saw in the previous round that Washington had issues with the run, and then they lost a couple of defenders throughout the week coming to the national championship. And so when they broke off those two huge runs to start the game, it was like, oh, here we go. You talked about recording your show on Monday night when the game was on. We had the opportunity to be on your show with you, but I literally was looking here past the laptop at the TV and watching some of that game. So although we had that pleasure of being on your show, I did get a chance to catch some of it as well. But the way that they were able to fight back, I think shows a lot about who Penix is as a quarterback. We know that we talked about it a few weeks before that he overcame the injuries while he was the quarterback at Indiana. And he just shows a poise about himself. Even when he makes a mistake, you see that he comes back and learns from that mistake and doesn't make the same ones. He's not perfect by any means, but he doesn't make the same consistent mistakes over and over. And so I think that young man has a very bright future. I would love to see a squad kind of pick up on him and kind of take a chance. I say take a chance, but Mel Kiper, I think, has him listed as like the 3rd overall quarterback. So who knows? We'll see what happens from there. I do want to give a shout out to one more time to Sean Maxwell, who says, Clemson will be back now that Saban is retired. There are those who have the thoughts that a former Alabama player may be leaving his head coaching position to try to make a move to the SEC, and that namely is one Mr. Dabo Swinney. We understand that as a coach, he has a philosophy at Clemson that he doesn't utilize the portal, that he feels like, we just grow talent home. And I think at Clemson, I don't see a way that he's going to be able to break that without seeming like a hypocrite. And so as a result, what better way to get with the times and be more up to date and actually relevant in regards to major football than to go to a school that is the pinnacle, one of the cornerstones of college football, namely Alabama. It's your alma mater, and you can have that opportunity to not look like a hypocrite because here at Alabama, we're going to do what we got to do to win. And now that gives you an opportunity to go ahead and just really put himself in a position to change without getting that backlash. And so it'll be interesting to see. They do have a short list. We've already heard about 4 names that are on that list. I think Alabama, based on the portal and how quickly things have been already moving, I don't expect that they'll drag their feet with this. Similar to the South Carolina State thing when they signed Chennis Berry almost immediately after the season. I fully expect that Alabama will have a head football coach probably within a week.
What do y'all think happens with Saban? Y'all think he's going to be chilling, or he's going to get a job in the NFL?
Oh, ESPN's going to throw the bag at him. He's going in the booth.
Yeah, I don't think he's going back to the NFL. I think he tried that and it didn't work. And kind of the same reason a lot of people are saying Bill Belichick left is because like these new players, the way that these coaches used to coach, the new players not taking that no more. The military style of coaching, they're not taking that no more. They need a younger coach that they can kind of relate to, and I don't think Saban can get that done in the NFL anymore. So, if Dabo leaves Clemson, he's just running from Tyler from Spartanburg. That's all that is.
But my peoples they hit Saban up on the side and asked him about the coaching stuff and with the NFL and everything, and he was like, "I'm not gonna do it, so quit asking."
So quit asking. You know what? With the pause and with the time away, I'm still gonna give it to you, bro. Pause. Hey yo, you get it, man. Now, one crazy thing to keep an eye on: how wild would it be for Bill Belichick? And I see that there's some folks saying Bill going to the Titans and all of that. How wild would it be for Nick to retire and Bill Belichick to go to Alabama? That is the one place that his style will streamline and align because they are younger than the professional players in the league. I could see Bill Belichick taking a New England's mentality and outlook to Alabama and being successful. That would be something else. But to your point, be easy. That's the reason that Pete Carroll is not the coach of the Seattle Seahawks right now. He's an older man with a certain style. And although he's come out in recent years and been a little more softer, pause, if you would, he's got a perspective that is very much still old school and hard nosed. And there are many reports that say he just doesn't relate with, or younger players don't relate to him and with him. And I think that's the singular reason, even after coming out just a day ago and saying, hey, nah, I feel good, I'm ready to coach some more. Yeah, nah, my boy, sit down. So definitely something to that.
I did read that they were going to try to keep him on staff as something like a consultant or something like that. So,
in a yet undescribed or unnamed role. That just means, man, we ain't trying to fire you, but dog, you can't be the coach no more, man. Come on, sit down, dog. That's all that means.
So between college football coaches, congressmen, and wrestlers, who holds on to their job the longest out of all three?
Congressman.
Would you say be easy?
Everybody, we said congressman simultaneously.
Oh, right. Yeah, nah.
Like,
but I just say the other two because, but that I just grouped them all together as like, yo, I saw this guy 20 years ago and he looked old. You know what I'm saying? Or wrestlers, I'd be like, dang, this dude is still around, jumping around wrestling. So I think the same thing with like wrestling all day. But I think the same thing with the coaches. Like if Belichick ends up down at Alabama, that's not like a 3-year retirement job. That's another 10-year commitment of your life, 5-year commitment, 10-year commitment of your life to getting up and really preparing. And that's
and a lot. And it's a little bit more and a little bit different, but when I said it's exclusively to the style of what he likes to do. Sean just mentioned it, that he's 71. He also said that his pride will not let him downgrade to college. To me, the University of Alabama is not a downgrade. That is prestige and status wise probably better than some NFL franchises. It's better. I would take the Alabama job before I would take a Carolina Panthers job if I'm keeping it a buck.
You know you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, because it's still professional. It's like Saban, because Saban left college to go to the NFL. He was a winning college coach. He left to go to the NFL because that's the top of the totem pole. Like, you don't leave the NFL to go to college if you can coach in the NFL. Period.
I don't know, because it's a different style. It's the same reason that I don't think Prime wants to leave college. There are people saying, Isaiah saying definitely better than the Panthers. A lot of people saying Coach Prime is going to come to the NFL. His entire style, the entire way that he coaches, the charisma, the father figure that he is for those players is custom and tailored to college football. To be able to sit in homes using that charismatic smile and flashing and talking to parents and families and mamas and aunties, all of that I think is literally specifically made for college football. That's not going to work with a bunch of grown men who got bills and families of their own.
It's not, but Prime is so close to being a player, and he was that player to where he can relate to them on another level. So he's using that to get these college kids and to talk to them a certain way. But I'm sure he knows how to switch it off and to do it way better than Pete Carroll can or Bill Belichick can relate to these young kids now. That's why I feel like in due time he'll be an NFL coach somewhere, but he'll have to start as like an assistant or something like that. He won't come in as a head coach, but he's too hip. He too hip. He had Lil Baby and Dub Baby and all the boys in the locker room. Bill ain't did that
at all. Bill Belichick is just gonna come in here and we're gonna play out game this week. So it's different. Shout out to Uncle Mark. What's up, y'all? Don't forget, Bill is close to the win record. Now that's one reason for him to definitely stay in the NFL. Another good point. Ross says the college coaching money still nice, and you have more control. The average college coach has more control of their program. Very similar to what Bill Belichick had in New England anyway. Jones says, just said they ain't got no soul, be easy.
Got no soul. We ain't got no soul.
Ain't got no soul.
But the other thing about the control that you have in college, again, is the likability factor. So if the kids also gonna, like we were just talking about, you're gonna have to get out there and recruit or whatnot and be able to draw in the talent and have them want to, buy in, have them buy in other words.
And I think That's another reason why I think Nick Saban left. He saw the writing on the wall with the NIL deals and all of that, and people like Prime coming in. He saw his influence leaving. That's why the Alabama didn't win all the games this year. You know, the transfer portal and all of that kind of stuff. Those schools, Nick Saban and Dabo Sweeney, you know, they were losing their influence, and it's a different world for them, and they really don't want to navigate in this world. And so that's why he bowed out gracefully.
I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat for a second with the conspiracy theory. Alabama, after they lost their bowl game, had something crazy like 26 or 27 players to enter the transfer portal. I am under the full belief, and can't nobody tell me no different, that he knew he was going to leave then. When NIL was first enacted and it became the Wild Wild West, or we could at least see the Wild Wild West over the horizon, Nick Saban was the loudest opponent to the entire thing.
Because him and Dabo was neck and neck with the loudness.
See, Dabo was loud with, "Oh, we ought not be doing it. We ought not." Nick just feel like he was just like, "No, don't do it."
Yeah.
But it's because exactly what you said, Easy. They realized that what they were doing under the table and had begun to be amazing at, everybody else was on top of the game. And now it was changing. And as a result, they no longer were going to have that influence that they had. And so I agree. It is exclusively, I believe, the reason he don't want to do it. Can he do it? Yes. He just doesn't want to. Same thing with Coach K. As the one and done started becoming what it is, and NIL with the back, Coach K was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'ma holler at y'all. Me and this dog, y'all done gave me. We go and kick it over here. Y'all gave me this bill. I'm out of here." Ross G said checking in once again, says Bill ain't likable. Absolutely not. If you like Bill Belichick, you're lying. Period. You're a Patriots fan and you like that he's won for you, but there is nothing likable about that guy.
But I've never heard anything bad about Bill Belichick, though.
He's boring. He's drab. He doesn't answer questions. He thinks that is his way better than anybody else's. And no, he's
players though. I'm talking about players though. I've never heard a player talk bad about him. Never.
And that don't mean he's not likable. I mean, he's good at his job. And he's a cheater. Shout out to Isaiah. He's a cheater. The Patriots literally coined 57 different ways to cheat throughout all of their Super Bowl wins. And no, I don't like the dude. He beat us in the Super Bowl. Now, there, you wanted to hear it. There you go.
If it ain't rubbing, it ain't racing. What do you mean?
You say what?
If it ain't rubbing, it ain't racing. What do you mean?
Hey, all I know is they paid John Casey to kick that ball out of you know what I'm saying, out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? That's all to it. Now, Sean, the first time tonight, I agree with you. Brian Flores deserves a job before Bill. He should just retire. There is no way at that age you can build another dynasty. He will not build another dynasty. He will not win another Super Bowl unless, of the vacancies, if Bill Belichick went to the Titans, nope, never mind. That's not going to work. No, he's not going to win another one. Even though I know a lot of folks say he's going there. But again, Carolina Sports Talk, main man, Big Cliff, sitting in with DJ Highstar, my guy, Be Easy, from the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast. You could be anywhere in the world. You just have to be right here with us, and we appreciate you. Make sure y'all hit us up on the Carolina Sports Talk line, Cliff at carolinasportstalk.net, or on all of the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, I don't have Snapchat, YouTube, and what is the other one? TikTok at Carolina Sports Talk. So at this time, we're going to transition into the association from the fields to the hardwood. DJ Highstar, you want to give them a little scores for the league?
Come on. Let's get into it. So these scores are from this evening, partly because of my audio. I'm not going to be trying to talk long and stuff, but these scores are from this evening, Thursday, January the 11th, from the association. So far, the Celtics are losing to the Bucks at halftime, 75-38. The Thunder are currently winning over the Trailblazers, 36-24 at the end of the first quarter. The Cavaliers beat the Nets, 111-102 in the NBA Paris game. The Knicks are just about to kick off against the Mavericks. And then the game of the evening, the Suns against your in-season champions, Los Angeles Lakers. Sorry, NBA in-season tournament bracket 2023-24 champions. Los Angeles Lakers. Any takeaways, guys?
Yeah, before we do anything else, we gonna start right there. You say in-season tournament champions with such a sarcastic dripping of sauce. Pause. That
Sending-
as if yo,
Easy.
if it's a bad thing. We are the inaugural champions. We are champions already in the midseason. How many other teams in the NBA can
Oh,
say
just one more word.
what?
Add one more word to it.
Inaugural. The first ever.
Inaugural NBA in-season bracket tournament. Jiffy. Sherwin-Williams sponsored.
What else? Thought we got a banner. It's a championship now.
You don't like that banner. You don't like that banner.
I can either confirm
you,
or
Ross. You
deny
don't like
if I
that.
like the banner. Here,
In 10 years, that's gonna mean something. So I'm with it. I don't care. I'm with it. I'm not even a Laker fan, but in a few
It'll be a
years,
Jeopardy question.
it will be. It will be. But it's something. Everybody clowning it, but it's something.
speak on it, Easy. Speak on it.
All right.
Talk to him.
60 years ago or 50 something years ago, the Super Bowl, what is that? Like what? The Chili Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Now the Super Bowl is the biggest thing ever, but in a few years, the in-season tournament is going to be something.
Hey, a couple years ago, about 20, 25 years ago, He Hate Me in the XFL was a big thing.
No, it wasn't. It was like that's like insanity. It was a flash in the pan.
I don't think it'll go away as long as the NBA keeps doing it. I think it'll be important to the people.
And see, we've got some vitriol coming from the comments. First of all, shout out to the Pro Fight Clarence Brown saying it's the new flag football Pro Bowl. Mark saying it's a joke. Isaiah saying psych. Like y'all very clearly don't like it, but at the end of the day, I'm with you, Be Easy, that it is the inaugural. It is something that the NBA is doing to try to change the perspective of. They're trying to make the regular season mean something. And with as serious as all of the players, because it wasn't like, oh, just the Lakers decided, oh, everybody's like, yo, man, go ahead and let the Lakers get that, man. We're not going to really play for. Every team that was competing was really trying to win. It's not like the bubble where people was like, oh, well, it's isolated and it takes away from this and it was a competition that every time that they said this counts towards this, teams went out there and did their best and lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. So at the end of the day, you can call it a rec league championship. You can call it what you want, but it was them saying, we are going to ratchet our game up to another level when you're trying to bring your best game against us and you will not win, period.
The only thing I didn't like about it was the courts. I couldn't tell what was going on because the courts was looking crazy. But other than that, I enjoyed it.
So we actually talked about it here a couple of weeks back. We liked it. It was a little different. I personally enjoyed it simply because it gave me more like a video game feel. And it, in my mind, signified that this game is different than the regular. This one, it was a little bit different than something else. And so I understand why they did it. And even with like High Star had brought up a couple of weeks back, it gave also the nod to some of the more international courts that we may see over in Europe and in Japan and other places like that, that the NBA is trying to extend the game to. And so giving that little nod there to some of the Euro kind of leagues and stuff like that, while also differentiating that this game is different and means something a little bit more. I get it. Isaiah, you're absolutely right. Attorney is attorney. I can't, that's like, okay, like when LeBron won his against the Warriors because Draymond decided to want to be Draymond, and we'll talk about him in just a few minutes and big deal, no thing. But because Draymond wanted to be Draymond and get suspended, that allowed and opened the door for them to win. It's not his fault that KD got hurt. It wasn't his fault that boys was losing and doing whatever they was doing and not being able to play. He played up against who was there, won it. So it's his chip. So at the end of the day, the banner is up there. Now I don't like the banner, a whole lot, but it's a win. It's a dub.
I agree.
It is a dub. There's no easy way to transition, segue into this next part. There is though a famous reggae song, "Be Easy." I'm curious if you're familiar with "Who Jah Bless, No Man Curse." Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
Or that saying? Have you heard that saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you was gonna say another reggae song. Boom Bye Bye to it. No, my bad. It's not that
Oh,
song.
see.
Check us out every week on the Digital
Yo,
Blaze.
man, and I was about to say, and that's a great episode. Thank y'all for joining us. But yeah, no, who job blessed, no
Yeah.
man curse. I was trying to figure out a good punchline for that. That would be, raunchy enough and stuff like how Be Easy and the DJ Blaze radio show does, but still safe enough for us. But Ja Morant got injured, y'all. All right, that's what I'm getting to. I didn't have no smooth way to say it.
It just happened.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he tore a labrum. I'm not Sal Palantonio and none of that, so I can't really give y'all the vibes. But your thoughts?
It's a killer, man. The young man we know came back on a tear and was really, really, really helping that team to elevate to another level. But I think it severely hurts Memphis's chances. I mentioned that as they have, and it was a season-ending shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned, they were going to be my dark horse in the West to take the chip, but see them doing it without him. He is the linchpin and the lightning rod for that Memphis squad, even if not fully defensively, completely offensively, but then defensively, I think he is enough to spark these other ones. Jaren Jackson is a different level player when Ja Morant is on the court. He won his Defensive Player of the Year with Ja Morant on the court, and so I don't see them doing nothing. So if this was big deal, this would be a big deal.
Yeah, it's crazy. He got that injury during a training session too. So it wasn't even in the game. So, was it his shooting?
Go ahead.
Bees, go ahead. You got to get that one more time.
Was that his shooting hand? There we go.
Shout out to Mark, who says only way it would mean something is if put them in the real playoffs or something. Oh, he's still talking about, man, stop it, Uncle Mark.
He's still talking about.
I'm gonna let it live anyway.
I did want to say that does put Marcus Smart, inserts him right into the lineup. Pause. Like, you were just talking about getting the healthy Marcus Smart, and now this happened.
Another thing that this does, don't be surprised if it elevates Gigi and we start seeing him a little bit more as well. Gigi Jackson, as we have talked about from here in South Carolina, is a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. He's been a little bit time on the active roster, but then also been a part of their G League or D League or Elemental P League, whatever they're calling it these days. Fun fact, those who, what do you want us to do, Isaiah? Fun fact, those who may not have known, his first ever interview was done by yours truly and Be Easy from the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast.
Shout out to Gigi. He's my favorite player.
You know it.
So I'm sure that Yo Gotti and the CMG family have done this plenty of times, but we're going to take a trip from Memphis all the way to New York. Like what I did there, Be Easy.
What you did there. At all.
And just going to talk a little bit about the OG out there in New York. It's been a nice little streak, nice little momentum run that the Knicks have been going on since the big trade has happened, and we've sent R.J. Barrett and Quickly up to 6, the dot, as some would call it. But OG Anunoby has showed up in the nick of time. For us. Thank you, please, thank you. We do it for the audience. We do it to try to keep the engagement up. But OG Anunoby, he's been doing his thing. He just had 23 the other night. Again, they just started off against Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic less Mavericks this evening. And so shout out to OG and the Knicks.
I will say this. I think that he has sparked you guys. And I think since 5 games, the first 5 games that he played, they've been winning. He's been doing his thing. I would not be surprised if y'all add another piece to try to actually make a run at it this year?
hmm He's
I,
I think he fits
Go ahead.
into the offense as far as like it's less crowded now. R.J. Barrett and with a Brunson in the backcourt, and then your bigs out there with like Julius Randle swinging and all of them being left-handed and stuff like that. The way that he could slash and stuff like that, it gives Julius Randle way better looks and stuff like that. And then not to mention a lot of the bench
Oh,
has been stepping up, Grimes, and different players off the bench. So what did I say? That was pause worthy.
nah, it was
I don't know, but
that
I
hey
got it in there too.
I know.
Hey, yo.
fellas is just. I felt uncomfortable with that hey fellas that came across the screen. Just on it, I just wanted to cleanse the air. I just had to fumigate the
That's
air.
our dog, man. That's our dog.
Hey, yo, yeah. Nah, Deke is the loyal, I'm saying, weekly contributor
That's cool.
to the Sports Talk Live, man. Y'all
That's
boys
cool.
wild, man.
But yeah,
Yo,
so shout out to New York. What you said?
Yeah.
you know, as we move forward, you talk about all of the left-handed players you have and how OG gives certain opportunities for other players to kind of step up. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those other players you're talking about stepping up are packaged to be able to get a marquee player and for y'all to make a run for it, because the East is wide open. It's evident we understand Boston as being who they are. We understand that even as Boston is losing to them right now, that the random team that won a championship that nobody remembers in the Bucks, they are who they are. But the East, I feel like, is not quite the beast, not so much the least, but it is at least open enough that there are
The
opportunities.
Eastern Conference.
The Eastern Conference,
The
I don't know.
Eastern Conference.
Best in the West, nonetheless. All right, so at this time, it is our favorite segment of the week. Big deal, no thing.
That's a big
Nah,
deal.
that ain't no thing. You know the segment, we give you sports headlines and let you know whether it's a big deal or no thing. First up, former champion Spence has cataract surgery. Big deal or no thing? Starting with you, High Star.
A big deal.
That's a big deal.
I agree. I said big deal.
That's a big deal.
What'd you say, Easy?
That ain't no thing.
Nah, that ain't no thing. Ain't no three peats
It's all
around here.
contrarian.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we'll start with you, DJ High Star. Give the folks a little context and a little background story to why this surgery is in fact a big deal.
So, if for those that don't know or whatnot, with Errol Spence, he was involved in a car accident several years back where it required reconstructive surgery on his face, and a lot of people say that his um, his orbital socket or whatnot was kind of still messed up, and then again, whatever this cataract surgery is fixing, they were saying that was a factor during that Terrence Crawford fight on why he looked so bad against Terrence Crawford. So I called it a big deal because I think that it extends his career a couple fights more than it would have, and he has a chance to gain some of his legacy back.
All right. I for the very same reason, agree. Steph Curry is probably the most poignant and transcendent evidence of this, but muscle memory, repetition, the way that he shoots the ball, and the exact same way, like he can tell when it's leaving his fingertips if it's good or not. Same way with a boxer, if you're used to seeing certain things and your field of vision is limited and or even altered based on how you have seen for the entirety of your life, having that corrected and realigned is a very big deal. And if it even helps a fraction, a millimeter, I think it's a big deal, especially with someone looking to be able to go and regain that type of glory that he has. So that's why I agree and said it's a big deal. Now, Be Easy, why are you wrong?
Was it both of his eyes or one of his eyes?
One. Well, I think he had some issues with both, but this surgery is
you had the other eye to look out of. When you get this fixed, you go back and fight again. What's gonna be your excuse for getting your butt whooped? You
gotta react to me.
Looking like Martin when he fought Tommy the Hitman Hurst.
with the marks on the face.
Give me the luscious.
Next up, Draymond Green says, quote, Adam Silver talked me out of retirement. Big deal, no thing.
No thing.
Starting with you, Be Easy.
No thing.
Nah, that ain't no thing. High Star, you say no thing. Nah, that ain't no thing.
Out of turn.
I'm going the other way. No, nah, that ain't no thing. Easy. Why you say that's not a thing?
Because he's a big fat face on liar. Adam Silver Adam Silver did not convince him to do anything.
Period. I say it's not a thing because I'm sick of Draymond. Go sit down, my boy. Like, I'm getting an echo for some reason, but it's annoying in that he is or was a quality player of which we respected with the franchise, but like, you're doing too much, man. Like, go sit down, dog. Go sit down. All right, High Star, why you say it's no thing, man?
So again, the new media is finally back and everything after this long hiatus and sabbatical away from everything, whatever his crew or his team may have coached him on. And then he comes back, he does his podcast. I'm not sure if any of y'all heard it, but then he also did a post-game press conference, and all of it was just this like, it's like the PR move, you know, like he's pretty much like, yeah, I spent all of this time in my man cave, and you know, my daughter's the one who got me out of there, and I finally got to play for a little bit and realize that life is worth, you know, and come on, bro, like at the end of the day, you punch somebody in the face, bro. All right, he talked about something, and then he talks about like account. He said something like, I apologize to my family. I apologize to the organization. I apologize to everybody. And they told me this time is different. This time is different. And I told them, you know what's different about it? Accountability. Like, bro, if you don't go, if y'all heard, oh my gosh, bro. But yeah, nah, it was horrible though. It was horrible, essentially. Like the similar to the Ja Morant, everybody turns into the victim whenever they come back from like one of these suspensions. Try to give everybody short-term memory.
Yeah. Sit down, Draymond. Period. Next up, the Heat extend their head coach Eric Spoelstra with a record 8-year, $120 million contract. Before we get into it, big deal or no thing, DJ High Star?
Big deal.
That's a big deal.
Be easy.
Big deal.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
I'm gonna start. Yo, there's some context that's associated that some folks may or may not realize. Eric Spoelstra, having recently gone through a divorce, was going through his divorce proceedings, and they were discussing who's getting what and all of that like that. And in one of the most legendary moves of any franchise, of any professional sports organization, the institution that is the Miami Heat knew that he was going through his divorce and said, don't worry about it. Do your thing. And once all was finalized, bing bong, let me get that check, run that money. Like the way that they did that was legendary, and shout out to them for being the GOAT. She can't get that because it is post-divorce income and she can't touch it. And so they were the GOATs for that. They legit get a shout out. And I got to give the Miami Heat a round of applause because they did that for my boy. So that's why I say a big deal. What y'all say?
Oh, just that amount of money is always a big deal.
Facts.
Yeah, nowadays with NBA coaches, they you know, you don't want to be same thing on a college level. Well, college level because of NIL and stuff now. But you don't want to be a $5 million coach or something, $7 million coach, and you're talking to a $30 million player, $40 million player or something. So yeah, that's good as far as that. But also men worldwide, we have this saying, appreciate that. We have this saying that we hear from all of our OGs, and it goes cheaper to keep her. So now she now has this experience where she can coach all of her younger woman mentees that you'll be weeping when you leaving, okay?
Mm.
Or you'll be weeping if you don't keep them. Oh, it's not even meant for a punchline. I'm just trying to give game.
Not you, them. They get the L. Man, we getting ready to get up out of here for this week's episode. But before we do, DJ High Star, man, you got nothing to do with sports for us this week?
What's good, Be Easy?
Well, before y'all get out of that, I got a question. Kyrie Irving got a contract extension for like $150-some million. Do y'all think he deserves it?
Yes.
What about you, High Star?
You up to 50. Shout out to my boy. I'm going to say this. I think some folks out there are avoiding some lawsuits as well because of all of the money that he was kind of, kept from getting. Maybe not lawsuits, but nevertheless, my man is getting his just due from all of the COVID stuff, you know?
And that's for me. We've talked about it literally going back to during COVID on air, that Kyrie was villainized for a lot of things that he shouldn't have.
No, I didn't say Kyrie. I said Kawhi.
Oh, then that's different. No.
I saw this thing.
Yeah, no. Kawhi is trash. It's not the same player.
Yeah. I was listening to Mark Jackson, I think it was earlier, and he was saying something about like Kawhi takes care of his body. I'm thinking like, no, I mean, maybe is that different from being available to me? I mean,
well, maybe he takes care of his body because he's not playing.
Right. That perhaps, but now that you say that, it still is the bread, and it's again because of the brand that he is. He's a cyborg. He's a robot. So, franchise player too. He's gonna sell tickets and stuff. So yeah. $160. Did he say how many years?
It's a 3-year extension for $153 million.
I honestly, I hadn't even heard about it before or realized it. And they're saying that he took less money when he re-signed, and so they just kind of giving him what he should have been given from the first time. And I get that to an extent, but like you said, best ability is availability.
And that's why I wanted to ask you guys, because I know you guys pay attention to basketball, and you know whether or not I said Leonard.
Did you?
It may have been the audio. You know how
the
audio
it
might have been that.
Either way, shout out to Snitch. Man, look at Tekashi 6ix9ine over here. We got it all figured out. Here he coming back.
Stupid. I'm not going to let you get the chance.
This guy over here, we done got it figured out. Maybe I did mess up. I'm not perfect. I look like Black Moses. I'm not him. This guy over here, you said Kyrie.
That's hilarious, man. Hey, before we get out of here, man, DJ High Star, get us on nothing to do with sports moment, bro.
Yeah, sure. Of course, the one thing that took 2024 by storm thus far has been the explosive interview that Shannon Sharp did on Club Shay Shay with, keep it easy in the spot. That Shannon Sharp did on Club Shay Shay with Cat Williams. Took the internet by storm. Everybody was talking about it. Outside of the beef that Cat had, it was a couple points of embellishment that people pointed out. One being that he read 3,000 books between 8 and 12. Excuse me. And then the other was that he ran a sub 4.1 in the 40 yard dash. So I just wanted to ask y'all fellas if y'all saw. I think he was at the University of Memphis inside of a basketball gym, and he ran the length of the court. It looked like somebody put up the phone and showed, 4.4
A 4
seconds or something. Did y'all see? Did y'all see it?
Matter of fact, I'm gonna if I can
He ran
get it.
7 in 31 yards.
That I was about to say the length of the basketball court. It wasn't like it was like an indoor track or something like that. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the side of a basketball court or something, right?
Yeah, and then
Let's go ahead and show it real quick because we about to get up out of here anyway, man. This is Cat Williams running his 40.
There you go.
I mean, he fast for a 50.
Ooh, right.
So and he,
Exactly. I will give him that. Okay. All right. Let's get down. No, I will give him that. He is, fairly in shape, like versus a lot of his counterparts. And I think I took when he talked about said in the Walrus comment, I took that like, okay, he again, he's somebody I guess that's aware of his body vibes and pause, like his staying in shape 4.47.
He did a 4.47 20-yard dash.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And the form. Everybody was talking about the form.
That's how he runs. Did you see him run as Alligator Man?
In Atlanta, yep.
Yeah, that's his form.
That's crazy. Man, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Carolina Sports Talk. Be easy. We appreciate you joining in with us, bro. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media as well as your show.
Oh, real quick, with that nothing to do with sports. Y'all check out Willie D's interview with Cat Williams, where at the end, Cat Williams tells Willie D that he had horrible questions. But you can find me every Monday and Wednesday on the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast, and check me out on Instagram, preacher_BP.
Hi, Star. Anything you want to holler at people before we get up out of here, bro?
Yes, to try to one-up Be Easy, Mark Curry has actually just dropped another interview with Willie D as well. So check that out. Also, I don't have any quotables from there. But yeah, Be Easy. Thank you for joining us, my brother, per usual. And go Ravens, bro. Go Ravens.
That's going to do it for this week's episode. We appreciate you tuning in on your favorite podcast app. Next time, tell your smart speaker, play Carolina Sports Talk. You can hit us up on the Carolina Sports Talk line, Cliff at carolinasportstalk.net, or you can be a part of the show, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all of that at Carolina Sports Talk. Until next time, folks, get out of here. Peace.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You
My
broke
back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Lank across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator,
That
Bill
is
O'Brien.
not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me again. It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that.